told you that the Broncos' biggest question of the season, the one that could decide their entire finals run, has just been answered by none other than Reece Walsh? And what if I told you that while the spotlight is shining on Brisbane, the Parramatta Eels are quietly plotting a ruthless comeback that has every rival club on edge? Stay tuned, because what's about to unfold might just change how we see the NRL in 2025. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell, because here at Aussie NRL Updates, we bring you the inside stories, the shocking twists, and the talking points no one else dares to unpack. For months, the Broncos have been asking one massive question: can Reece Walsh not only deliver brilliance in highlight reels, but also step up when the pressure is suffocating, when the team is wobbling, when the season hangs by a thread? Fans have seen Walsh electrify crowds with his speed, footwork, and those dazzling cutout passes. But doubts lingered. Critics claimed he was a moments player, devastating when the stage is set, but untested as the man to carry Brisbane when everything else falls apart. That question was answered. And not with words. With action. Walsh didn't just play well, he owned the game. He silenced critics who said he couldn't manage pressure, dictating tempo like a seasoned general while still producing the jaw-dropping plays that make him box office. But here's the twist: it wasn't the flashy tries that proved it. It was the grit. The tackles he chased down. The defensive reads he nailed when the opposition thought they had cracked the line. The way he slowed the game down when Brisbane were under siege. That was the sign. Walsh has grown from a highlight merchant into a leader. And here's where the story gets even more gripping. His performance didn't just steady the Broncos, it injected belief. Players around him lifted. The forward pack ran harder, the halves took on more responsibility, and suddenly Brisbane looked less like a team with a superstar, and more like a complete unit with a superstar at its core. But let's pause, because this leads us to a chilling cliffhanger. If Reece Walsh has truly turned the corner, if he has answered Brisbane's biggest question, does that make the Broncos the most dangerous team heading into finals? Or is it still too fragile to trust? We'll circle back to that. But first, the other half of tonight's drama, and it's coming out of Parramatta. Now, while Brisbane are basking in their Walsh-fueled revival, the Parramatta Eels are quietly brewing something far more ruthless. And trust me, rivals are already sweating. For years, Para have been accused of being nearly men. Close but not close enough. Brilliant in spurts, but inconsistent when it mattered most. Fans grew restless. Critics sharpened their knives. And whispers started spreading. Maybe this window had already slammed shut. But here's the shock. Instead of fading away, the Eels have doubled down. Their ruthless edge has returned, and it's sending a message that no rival can ignore. How ruthless? Let's break it down. Selection calls that shocked even insiders. Big names have been dropped, younger players promoted, and no one, no matter their reputation, is safe if they don't deliver. A spine that's finally clicking. Dylan Brown's decision-making, Clint Gutherson's leadership, and Mitch Mose's game control are meshing in a way we've rarely seen. Forwards hunting like wolves. Junior Paulo and Reagan Campbell-Gillard aren't just making meters. They're dominating collisions, intimidating opponents, setting a platform that screams, "We are back." And here's where the rivals get nervous. Parramatta aren't just winning games, they're suffocating teams. It's clinical. It's heartless. It's ruthless. Now, here's a question for you. What happens when a team with talent finally embraces that hard edge? History tells us that's the recipe for premierships. And suddenly, the Eels look less like a side drifting out of contention and more like a predator that's been biding its time. But wait, here's the twist. As Para rise, some insiders warn that this ruthless edge could also backfire. Will dropping big names create fractures in the dressing room? Will pushing young guns too fast too soon leave them exposed under finals pressure? This is where the story gets fascinating. Because while Brisbane are leaning on Walsh to answer their burning question, the Eels are rewriting their identity altogether. And when those two stories collide in the finals race, sparks are going to fly. So here's where we stand after part one. Walsh has answered Brisbane's question, but can he carry it through when the finals heat goes nuclear? And the Eels are ruthless once more, but is it brilliance or a ticking time bomb? Imagine this. The finals kick off, the Broncos and the Eels are both firing, but only one will survive long enough to chase glory. And here's the kicker. What if I told you there's one overlooked factor that could make or break both of their seasons? Let's dive back in. Brisbane's revival story has a heartbeat, and its name is Reece Walsh. But here's the brutal truth. talent alone won't win them the premiership. The NRL finals expose weakness. They chew up stars and spit them out. Just ask teams that have dominated regular seasons only to crumble when the lights burn brightest. So what makes Walsh different this time? One word: leadership. Those inside the Broncos camp reveal a Walsh who is more vocal than ever, barking instructions, demanding standards, dragging teammates into battle. That's not the Walsh we knew a year ago. That's not the carefree kid who just wanted to run. That's the evolution of a general. But here's where it gets fascinating. Leadership in finals is tested by pressure, and pressure reveals cracks. Will Walsh stand tall when he's targeted by defensive lines hell-bent on smashing him? Or will those old doubts resurface under the weight of expectation? And let's not forget, Brisbane's rivals will be merciless. Walsh won't just be playing games, he'll be in a psychological war. Opposition coaches will plan all week around neutralizing him. Every camera will track his reaction. Every mistake will be magnified. That's the cliffhanger. If Walsh survives that storm, the Broncos could soar.